Okay, this will be maybe a little bit challenging, but it should turn up a treat, hopefully. Let's see what we can do with it. Wonder how big we're going to make it. We're going 200 for some reason for this. Colour adjust, going to add some contrast. Going to lighten it right off. Okay, let's see what we have. We have here, this is front cover missing. It is to do with Katoomba. So it's the Blue Mountains, which is to do with Katoomba. So this is Katoomba Street, Katoomba. Interesting. So this is a wedding book magazine. Sorry folks, this is what we're photocopying. It's a little bit awkward how we're holding it. This page, I'll try and flat it for you. So that's what we're basically interested in, this picture. If we can get it to sit nicely on the glass. We're going to do it on an angle for something more interesting than just a standard image. So I tried to show you folks what's happening, what picture it is. It's just a little bit stiff with the spine. It's a bit of a tight binding. But we're just taking a section out of it, not doing the whole picture. Looks like it won't make a good mirror image. So I have to angle it to make it more mirror image friendly. So it's going to be enlarged 200%. And that looks quite nice. Could be better. I'm thinking it could be better. We need a bit more up there. But basically, yeah, this is a wedding planner. Something to help you make decisions with your wedding. You know, trying to get some really good style and that to your wedding. But the thing is, I find annoying about that is that people don't seem to realise that there's more to marriage than just the ceremony. A lot of people end up in dodgy marriages, and yet they spend tens of thousands of dollars on their wedding and reception, but they don't have their relationship functioning properly. So they end up spending all this money and all this hoopla, and they don't seem to have any sense that they've got to think about how good the relationship is, you know, because if the relationship is bad, how can you expect yourselves to have a good marriage? You can't just focus on all the hoopla and all the jazz of having a marriage, a wedding, and yet you're basically ignoring or not noticing that perhaps your relationship isn't healthy. You got to have a healthy, loving relationship. You can't just rely on the magic of the ceremony. When I get married to Luigi, we're not planning on having all this hoopla. We're planning on just getting married because we don't believe in sex before marriage. So we want to have sex with each other, so we end up getting married. That's how we think. We think that sex before marriage is wrong. That's just the way we are. But basically, most people wouldn't agree with myself or Luigi. Wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. So the pair of us just want to marry so we can legally have sex with each other, you know, and have a full relationship. You know, we're not interested in all the fancy stuff. You know, the fancy stuff is just neither here nor there for us. We just don't have any interest in all that fanfare. And then, of course, the relationship. Our relationship is healthy. So therefore, there's no need for all this hoopla. I don't have any interest in getting dressed up. Oh, it'd be nice, I must admit, to wear the white dress and maybe to have my close family members around for the wedding, but I'm not interested in all this. Now, I've done this, I fucked it. Sorry, folks. But basically, I'm just not interested in focusing on the hoopla. The hoopla is just neither here nor there. It's the marriage, it's the relationship, the actual relationship, the feelings that you have, and the necessary strengths that you have for each other. Instead of just this shallow desire to get married for the ceremony and just fuck the rest of the marriage, which is marriage should be about love. And if you don't have love in your life, that's what I was meant to say. Love. That's the missing ingredient in most of today's marriages. And in my parents also didn't marry and have a happy marriage, so they ended up breaking up. But I was never brought up with love, folks. My parents were devoid of love. My mum's learned. I think my mum loves me now, and we talk a lot. We get on the phone to each other almost every day. But I was never brought up with love. It was a missing ingredient. So I've had to learn myself what love is. My dad could never tell me. I asked him what is love back in 1983, and he said, "What is love?" He returned the question. The answer was the same question returned to me, thrown back in my face. So there was no love, and that's why my parents' marriage failed, because there was no love. And without love, it's just, even if you stay together, you're not going to be happy. So you need to find love in a relationship. If you don't love each other, you've got to figure out why, and maybe you might have to break up, and make sure you try to break up before you tie the knot. Try to break up before then. Try to work out see the warning signs before it becomes a major issue. You don't want to remarry, folks. Remarrying is not a good thing. I don't want to go into why, but I personally don't like the idea of the remarriage. So your first marriage has got to be good. Make it good. It's not worth the hassle of remarrying and going through divorce and then remarrying and then divorcing again, for all we know, because again it's not going to be the solution, folks. Keep the marriage for someone you love and forget it. You don't need all that fucking hoopla. Anyway, that looks good. I think now we can call this demo quits.